Hello, Drunkduckers, and welcome to the Quackcast. I'm Ozone Ocean, and with me is Taunton Baines.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
And this is Quackcast number 687. Drunkduck Quackcast, and we're going to be talking about a very special episode right after the theme music. Here we are talking about our very special episode, which is concerning it's not really concerning anything in particular, but we're inspired by the funny episodes they have in manga and anime, where they have the bikini episode, the summer festival, the cherry blossom festival, the Christmas episode, whatever, but also in other things where in Western media where they have the Christmas episode, like we said, and any other special fun episodes. We're not talking about the very special episodes like, this is the anti-smoking episode, or the anti-bullying episode, or the introduction to, this kind of lifestyle.
I would say those are the PSA episodes. They are not the special ones.
Yeah. I mean, in the old days, they called them the very special episode. Yeah.
Or like a sitcom would get more serious. They tackle something really serious.
I still remember the reverse racism episode of Different Strokes. Oh my God.
Different Strokes had it. I was thinking of a different Strokes episode. I won't talk about it right now, but it was one about a certain subject that is shocking that a sitcom did an episode of.
Oh dear. Okay.
A sort of dangerous predator guy in the neighborhood.
Oh.
I didn't know you were on Different Strokes.
Just that one episode.
All right. Before we get into that, let's introduce the featured comic. All right. The featured comic was Jack of All Trades. I'm going to tell you about that now. Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean, and my feature for the week was Jack of All Trades. Out of college, Elizabeth and her girlfriend Tasha are just starting out and making their way in the world together. The time for all-day video game marathons and bongs are over for Elizabeth. She gets a cool job at a place called All Trades, but Tasha isn't quite so keen in following suit. Elizabeth's developing office relationships are pretty cool and very relatable as she slowly works to fit in. But is her relationship with Tasha going as well? This is a slice-of-life comedy drama. The writing is non-linear and jumps around the story timeline very effectively. The art is all digital, full colour, and stylized in a way that minimizes line work to give things a cut-out feel. This is a comic by Alan. He's a bit of a veteran. He's been on Drunkduck for many years, decades and decades. So he's got a lot of experience there to lend to his comic, and you really see that in the work. His the story style, it's quite honed and very interesting. A lot of experience there, and the art style is also quite interesting and very experienced and quite unique for comics on Drunkduck. So it's well worth a feature. Have a look at this. It's a slice of life comedy drama. So there's bits here for everyone. It's very easy to get into, and it's quite joyful. There's a little bit of nudity in the comic, not too much, but it's not explicit nudity. It's sort of just shown from the side or the back. So it just is a bit of a spice into the story. Anyway, I hope you enjoy All Trades by Alan. Rated M for mature. That was our featured comic, which was Jack of All Trades. Okay, so now the featured music. Gumwells has given us a theme to a comic called The Magpie. Such weight! This electronic piece weighs down heavily, with the super-powered gravity of a neutron star crushing down with the mass of its brilliance and beauty. So take it away, Gumwells, with your theme to The Magpie. was The Magpie, which is a comic by Bones McKay. And it's rated M for mature. Okay.
M for Magpie.
Yeah. The Maggie.
Speaking of mature, Verdant is rated T at this point, but because the Flower Lady Visa is basically naked, should I upgrade to M?
Well, we're actually live on the Quackcast now, so what do you reckon,
Oh, sorry.
listeners? Should we change it to M?
Call in, reach under your seat, and pull out your button.
Yeah.
Cast your vote.
I reckon you should definitely change it to M. Listeners, you should agree with me because then you've got more freedom. And yeah, there's basically no downside. It's just more freedom.
Yeah,
So
I'll do it.
go for it.
I'm gonna do it right now.
And we'll have a very special episode where you talk about the benefits of being mature. And basically, you'll have the bikini episode. So yeah, this is our intro into this idea. The fun episode, the silly thing. In anime and manga, particularly, they would have the bikini episode. So, like Bane said, this would often be an extra that wasn't particularly it wasn't essential to the thing. It would be just included as a benefit if somebody bought a whole series of these things on disc or on video or whatever, and they'd have the extra bikini episode where it didn't actually count towards the rest of it. But sometimes it does, and sometimes it is integral, and they do that as a joke. They have, everyone, has the bikini thing. And it's weird the way they can include this bikini stuff because sometimes characters live miles away from the beach. So they all have to have an enormous sort of trek to get down there. So they'll all, get on buses or borrow cars and things, and they'll all finally get out there. And that's really interesting when they do that. Or maybe there's no beach around, so they have to go to the local swimming pool, and that's where they have their bikini episode. So it doesn't matter as long as they show skin. That's usually the purpose of these things. It can be anywhere, but and it's amusing that it is a convention, so it's done in a certain way, but it's used by all these unrelated kind of stories. You wouldn't think a bikini episode would belong in this story, but apparently it does.
Okay, I was going to say, even if the genre is sort of far away from what you would think fits a bikini episode, even a lot of those series will do it.
As long as it's a comedy, usually. You're not going to have it in serious things.
Okay, yeah.
It's going to have to be silly. You don't have a bikini episode in Ghost in the Shell, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in the manga, you sort of do. But not in the anime. In the manga, famously, they have a 3 pages or whatever where Makoto Kusanagi, the hard as nails detective lady, is having a virtual reality cruise on a yacht with her 2 lesbian girlfriends.
Okay, then.
There you go.
Yeah, so she's having her downtime. And yeah, that's pretty famous because it's so unusual, because the story is so serious. And so there you go. That's brings a lie to what I was saying.
I would say, Ghost in the Shell is probably the exception that justifies the rule. But even if you have a dramatic series, if it invests enough time for some comedic elements, it is dramatic and it has really dramatic moments, sad moments, powerful moments, but it also has humor, then you have a higher chance of finding a bikini episode, a beach episode. I'm thinking of The Last Airbender, Avatar, The Last Airbender, where it is a pretty serious, serious story. It has everything, from from basically genocidal maniacs to really, really serious themes about boundaries, let's put it that way, and stuff like that. So, but it also has a lot of humor. Like there are lots of gags and comic relief sequences and stuff. And in the third and last season, there is a beach episode. And the thing about it, though, is that although it is a beach episode and the characters are in their bikini, there are two beach episodes now that I think about it. And there is one beach episode with the bad guys and one beach episode with the good guys. So that we have two different beach episodes, and both somehow advance the plot, although it is totally a beach episode. Like everything has stopped and they are at the beach and they're having like a bonfire and they play sports and they do stuff, totally beach episode, but it still advances the plot in some very significant ways. In both occasions. Yeah.
Well, there you are. So yeah, you can further things with the funny, silly, irrelevant beach episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like I say, it started off as an extra, but then because it's a convention, people started to make them, part of the thing. And Baines and I at Tarts, we've talked about the beach episode for Bottomless Waitress. So
absolutely,
that's possible.
It has to happen. It is mandatory now.
Yeah,
everyone will expect it. So,
I mean, it's not a stretch at all for this series. It would fit right in. So yeah, definitely on board. We'll have to do something. Try to do something special with it.
Well, we could tie it to a 4th of July. We could have both of those things happening.
Right.
So yeah, I love it. Barbecues, aprons, hot dogs, hamburgers. Like.
Oh yeah, the beach the beach and bikinis is a uniter.
Beers.
Beers and barbecues and bikinis.
It all fit. Oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be a subplot with Francis and Nikki, and all the love triangle stuff happening in the same thing. Like so easy.
Yes. Well, I was thinking of bonus episodes, and a lot of times, at least I haven't watched enough anime to really know, but a few I've seen will kind of take the characters, and you see the sort of what's the word? The most basic level, like the essence of the relationships. You'll see a triangle, a little adventure play out, or a little whatever the interpersonal dynamics are. You'll see a little thing play out that kind of, it could be any episode of a sitcom where you're seeing those dynamics really come into focus. So yeah, we would do something like that. Just show everything in a compact form.
Yes, compressed all the bare bones of
all in the afternoon and evening at the beach. It all plays out, and then it's all consequence free. It's back to status quo at the
end. Yes, it's perfect. Which means you can explore as much as you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, freedom. It's like the cheat day for someone who's dieting. It's your day to have cakes and stuff. And it doesn't count. It doesn't make you fat because you're back to the day. So yeah, Bottomless Waitress can do it easily, but without Moonlight, could it do it? I think Verdant could do it.
I'll be cheeky and say that both could do it. I could totally shoehorn in a beach episode in without Moonlight. I would just need to do it in a very specific way. Because
I can see it now.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I can see the occupiers, let's call them that, having sort of thinking they own a beach and they're all there, and Iris is there with them, and they're all thinking, and then somewhere just the other side of the rocks or whatever, it's all the resistance people. They don't even know each other on the same beach. The resistance people are having fun, and the occupiers are all very straight and stiff. And
be amazing.
Oh my god!
That's where it's kind of the most. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, genres like Verdant or Without Moonlight is where a beach episode would be way more interesting because it's not really suited to it.
Yeah, but
Normally.
now I think I need to do this as an extra, just like because we have beaches like this in the coast of Attica where you can have like one beach that looks pretty isolated because it has like a lace work of rocks going like jutting into the sea, and then you have more beach and with more sand on the other side. So you could totally have like two beaches side by side, and with the occupants completely oblivious that the other guys are on the other side there.
So you've always
I
got
could
that.
do that. Like I could do that for like a summer special.
Even just a couple pages, it would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that said, that would be completely like a little treat for Without Moonlight fans, not in canon per se, but I could even do it in canon. Just I would need to work the plot in such a way that this can happen on screen. And what I mean by this is that people went to the beach during the occupation. They still did that. They just did it very carefully. But there are people. I mean, there are people. I have photos of my grandfather and his buddies from like high school, not high school, like late elementary, something like that, that are diving into the sea from a pier in during occupation. So
Oh wow!
you know,
Okay, so
yeah,
it's canon. Well,
it could happen.
I was going to say you have a built-in tension there because will they discover each other or won't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I really want. I might not have the time to actually draw it, but I could totally write it as like a
Yeah.
short story. Uh, so yeah. Now I have to. And for Verdant, it can totally happen because I know it might not look it, but the main character is not that heavy. Uh, Although he's sad right now in the sequence that we're following, but he actually is a guy that doesn't take things too seriously, and that's why he can be the girl's protector basically, even though she's a brat. So uh yeah, he would totally roll over and cannonball into the sea.
Just got to find a spare beach in Verdant. It seems to be a very swampy place.
Yeah. um Technically
Is
there
there a
is
freshwater area?
there is fresh water, and it's mostly on the Despotate side. I should make it up soon. So, but yeah,
Okay.
there is like a lake, and this lake sort of fades into the forest and into the swamp forest, and then you have the swamp. So that's more or less how
You
it
could
goes.
probably easily make it canon somewhere along the road, I imagine,
Yeah.
depending
Oh,
on.
totally. Oh, totally. I mean, I think I will have to because he he is the type of guy to want to shake you out of depression. He is not a depressed guy. He can be sad, and he is sad on camera often, um, because he has a less than worthy friend. But beyond that, he bounces really quickly. He's not like constantly. He's not like Arthur dragging along his angst all the time. So
Right.
there's that.
I was trying to work out how I would do it in Pinky TA,
Yeah.
and I know I was thinking, oh, it would be totally forced, but I know how I can do it now because there's the scenes with the battleship they're on. So I'll just do a scene where the battleship is moored and people are swimming off it, so it works. So
Yes.
it I can totally fit it in. Although it'll be weird because it'll be like diving off the side of a battleship, but Whatever. It'll fit.
I could totally see her trying to show off that she is a perfect diver,
It would mess
and
up, of course.
yeah, of course, she would land with her belly.
Exactly.
Ah,
Again, I hope you do it just because the tone of Pinky TA, you don't expect it. So that would be a lot of fun.
yeah, I would love that, honestly.
I can see it happening in Typical Strange in the typical way.
Yes.
Because Typical Strange...
all of my comics are so well suited to a beach episode. It's not as interesting because it could so easily be done. I definitely want to do it in Kaiju Valentine.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
It's just a matter of how soon can we get there. Now that we're doing this topic, I'm like, okay, how do we get to the beach quick?
Yeah.
Yes, with this giant lady.
It will be a fit if Max can swim alongside Minnie. Like, honestly.
That would be yes.
Well, that's half the comedy, isn't it? I mean, like, he'd be drowning and all this kind of stuff. Or he might save her from drowning, which is totally ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
Because it's so silly. It'd be incredible. Yeah. Or, like, and it ends like him, like, oh my God, something big and heavy is, like, flopped over me. Oh, what is this thing? And you see, like, this tiny little man covered in a giant bikini. That would be enough.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I guarantee you right here, right now, that is going to happen.
Yay! Yes.
They can have fun burying each other in the sand. Very quick on end, very long process.
Oh dear, yeah, he gets buried in her footstep, and
takes about 2 seconds.
She builds him a sandcastle, and he can just walk right in there.
He can live in it. And then when it's his turn, he gets a bloody front end loader and buries it with like machinery. Oh dear! It beach episodes are that's why you've got to include silly kind of crap, because it revitalizes what you're doing, gives you new ideas, you have a bit of fun, and you give a treat to your readers. So beach episodes, I don't know about like the festival kind of stuff, because that's more a story thing, and that's very much like it fits in with Japanese stuff, but doesn't.
It's Japanese,
other stuff, it's more cultural.
Yeah,
it really is. So that, I mean, there's Christmas episodes which people often have. I mean, that is a convention with not only comedies but sitcoms, like in Britain, America. I don't know, other countries might do it. I know Japanese, like manga. Anime will have Christmas episodes sometimes, which is quite weird because it's not really culturally a thing to them, but they still include them sometimes.
More exotic to them, interesting. We do on the Duck site every Christmas. We do a Christmas fan art, a Secret Santa thing, and a lot of people, probably almost everyone, you're drawing their characters at Christmas or in a Christmassy or wintry kind of setting. So kind of a Christmas episode.
That's true.
I'm thinking, like, over here we don't really have special episodes like with Christmas themes or any religious holiday for summer. Wow, now we don't. The special episode usually is either on, because it's convenience, I guess. I don't know why. It's either on a character's birthday or on a character's name day, more than anything else. That's when the special episode happens. And the whole thing is the contrast that it is a mundane day for all the rest of the world, but for you it is, special. Or alternatively, it is when the carnival comes. And when I say the carnival, I don't mean like dress up days, but I mean like a nomadic theme park situation that would travel from town to town, and they would arrive, and it would have like a Ferris wheel and some those little cars that bump into each other. I don't know what
Bumper
they're called.
cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would, and that's when they have like the corn on the comb or some popcorn, or and they walk
Yeah.
on the pier, and you have the lights from the Ferris wheel in the background. Like that's the special ones over here in Greece.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting.
That would be how I would do it, appropriate to where I live. Some places maybe have fairs, we call them fairs or carnivals,
Mhm.
more regularly, but we have that traveling kind. They'll show up, once a year for a week and a half or so.
Yeah.
And that would be the way to do this episode.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, we call it the Royal Show.
Ah,
The Royal Show, and it's a traditional thing. In every state, I think, has a royal show, and I think, like originally, you would have had some sort of royal or a royal representative opening the show, because it was a state agricultural fair, which, like America and Canada, and these things all have their origins as agricultural fairs originally. So people would come to show their cows and sell them and sell sheep and that kind of stuff. But then it sort of expanded into being, more things about, bumper cars and rides and Ferris wheels and all that kind of stuff. And like you'd say, Tansy, it's nomadic in that people will go to the different... The people who set up the fairs, in America they call them carnies, but it's not quite so cultural over here. We don't have like carnival people, and they would, we're setting up one in this state, in that state, in this small town. You have your agricultural fair, you have the main agricultural fair that is the royal show, and then you have all the little things. So there you are, a bit of a tiny potted history of agricultural fairs in Australia. But yeah, I loved them when I was a kid, because you'd go to them and you'd get on rides, but you get the show bags, which is what I love, which is they set up these little I don't know, things where they sell a bag with the special like themed things for a TV show you like, or a brand of chocolate or whatever, and then you'd have all little special things in the bag that are on that theme. So there we go. Sorry I've digressed, but I find this a very interesting subject.
It is.
But yeah, an episode of a thing based around that's quite interesting. That is a thing in Greece. So the episodes are based around the traveling shows.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, in Brave Resistance, I have written the backstory of Nikos and Sofia, and so that exists.
Yeah.
And it has a special episode, I guess, because one of the places that they go out on a platonic date that ends up not being as platonic is in the carnival. So there you go. Pre-war, of course, like when they were flirting and getting together, because I guess it's not a spoiler because the story is on permanent hiatus. But Sophia and Nikos were and are continue to be engaged, to be married, but they cannot be married because war. So yeah.
Yes. Well, there you see, like the impetus behind it, what sort of set them off. It was the special episode. That's what did it.
Yes, it was the special episode, and they were actually trope aware, I guess, because Nikos specifically picks the carnival so that he can act the fool with impunity in the carnival and try to woo her. So
So this is interesting. Bikini Beach episodes are for hinting at love or really outlining all the love things that we have, but not really progressing further with them. Just sort of teasing people and just having fun with them and outlining stuff. Whereas festival episodes, carnival episodes, are for actually progressing or going to the next step.
Yeah. He even shows off to her, like he says, they go to, one of those stands where you have to shoot the duck or shoot the moving target or whatever, and you win a thing. And he tells her, like, which of these things do you want? Like, I'll win it for you. And he does, because he is so good at shooting things. So yeah, and she's like, she picks something ridiculous, like, okay, I want this really ornate, kitschy, like statuette thing, because back then they didn't have plushies; they had like little trinkets that you put on a shelf.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, I want that one. I want that really ornate, kitschy looking thing that I don't really like. and he wins it for her, and she basically cherishes it afterwards. So yeah.
I'm trying to think of how I would do a festival episode. Not of, say, Pinky TA or whatever, but like if I was doing an Australian story, like going to the Royal Show doesn't count. I suppose it would be. Oh God, it's tricky. It's really tricky. Because Christmas isn't a social thing. You don't get together with other like loved ones, and that's more a family thing. Christmas, or someone you're already with. You don't form a love connection on Christmas. Easter isn't a thing for that either. There was this thing called the Sky Show, which is a associated with Australia Day, which is like America's 4th of July or Canada Day. But you can't do that anymore because that's now like got baggage because of now people associate with colonization. So you're not allowed to have fun on those days anymore. So where does it fit in? Who knows? I just have to make up one. Luckily, I'm not doing a story about Australia. I just have to do my own one. All right, so yes, what was that? Hallmark Bergs.
No, Hallmark begs to differ, about romance in Christmas. Because everyone finds their love at Christmas in Hallmark movies.
Yeah, normally the unemployed guy with the check shirt and the beat up old pickup truck and the dog in the back. The lawyer lady who's sophisticated will get rid of her stockbroker boyfriend, and she'll fall for that guy in the check shirt who does, I don't know, furniture restoring, something like that. Works with his hands.
Or like looks after like a gazillion sheep, or is a baker. He kneads well with his hands.
And he has a heart of gold. Not like a pissy stockbroker boyfriend or who's a lawyer and a doctor and who takes her for granted. No, not usually a doctor. He's usually a stockbroker.
Usually stockbroker or an advertiser, or that something that could be easily sleazy sort of thing. Or if he's a doctor, he's a cheater. Like he cheats.
Yeah,
he's an arrogant. Sort of hands-off, almost in a sense, hands-off kind of doctor. I mean, that's why a stockbroker and stuff, it's not real, it's not tangible in the way that our furniture restoring guy
is. It's normally, something tangible, and it's creative, but it's not artsy-fartsy creative.
He's manly, but he's creative. obviously the best at it.
And he also has money. He's not poor. He might come across as being like dirt poor or something, but he like has like a farm that is huge, or he has like a, I don't know how much languishing in the bank or something like that, and
a
that
wealthy family. He's a scion of a wealthy family.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And that gets revealed later, either as a, in your face moment, or as a Deus Ex Machina moment. Like she gets into something really tough, and he says, "I got you," and then
Yeah, pulls out the platinum credit card.
Yeah.
Platinum. $5 million limit on this thing. I'll
Yeah.
buy you a yacht. Don't worry. We'll fly a helicopter to it. It'll be all cool.
Yeah.
That takes away from it. I haven't seen many of these. I mean, you make me think of the movie Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't
I love
Minus
that, mate.
the revelation of him being rich, that doesn't happen at the end. But it's that top to bottom. He's a super talented.
So you know what? Overboard. Like, sorry, I just butt in.
Fun.
Like, Overboard, funny film. Yeah, Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn. When I saw that, I thought, well, okay, so in Overboard, so the story is she has like a boyfriend or husband or something like that. She falls off his boat, loses her memory. Kurt Russell saves her and gaslights her into thinking that she is his wife and his kids are her kids. And when I saw it,
it's a little rough. That part is a little rough to think about.
Yeah,
when I saw it, I was revolted by that idea. And this was like in the 80s or something. I thought, oh my God, this is unethical. This is horrible. How could this be a comedy? This is terrible. And the revelation for me at the end was, actually, these two actually really do love each other. As people, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn were a thing. Which blew my mind.
Yeah.
And not only that, he does that as a revenge, because he was really pissed at her for being arrogant and really being terrible as an employer, I think, or something like that.
She hires him and she's horrible to him.
Yeah, she was a terrible bitch, but he was doing that is that's so horrible. That's worse than bitch.
Basically that's felony area.
It's demented. I mean, when I first saw it, it blew right past me. I didn't pick up on that at all. But watching it or thinking of it later, it's like, oh my God, like that's our romantic heroic lead.
Yeah. Our guy, ladies and gentlemen, we love him.
But I think that I can't get past is those two actors actually love each other. Are they still in a relationship, aren't they?
I don't know.
They're still together, I think. I think they just did some kind of movie together. I think. I don't know what it was.
Oh, that's amazing, honestly.
So it lends a weird other dimension to that whole thing. They can't get past.
Oh my God. Before the episode, we were talking about people aging and people who don't age. Kurt Russell, man. Like, oh my gosh. What is that dude?
He's amazing. But I didn't like what they did to him in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
What they do? Oh, the de-aging?
Yeah.
The digital...
What's the point of that?
I don't even remember it. Like, it's deleted from... I have seen the second movie, but it's deleted from memory.
Look, the second movie is not bad. It's not as good as the first one. It's got the whole the thing at the end, which is fantastic. The Mary Poppins thing by the Mohawk.
Yeah, I love it, especially for that ending. I like the second one a lot.
Yeah,
I don't remember it. I need to see it again.
Ending is good. Mary Poppins, yo.
Yeah,
that's
Mary Poppins.
Oh, we've digressed again.
That's not a beach episode. We're way off topic.
A beach episode would totally fit into any Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Oh yeah.
A beach. I can't believe they didn't do a beach scene. They had some kind of festival thing.
Yeah, they did, I think. Yeah. But yeah, beach in every Guardians of the Galaxy film, they need a beach scene.
Yeah.
Right up their alley. They're so funny.
And they have like the beach episodes work when you have a bunch of different characters like that. You can't really have a beach episode if you've only got one character, can you?
No.
Yeah, it's not quite as. I mean, unless it's a character who really is not suited to it, and then you put them on a beach, then it could probably be interesting.
Mr. Bean. So he has had a beach episode, I'm pretty sure.
He did, yeah.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure it was great. I would love to see that.
Yeah. But yeah.
The only thing I remember from it is how he tries to put on his swimming trunks over his pants because there is some other guy and there is nowhere to change and he doesn't want to just, undress. So he has to figure out a way to put on his swimming trunks without pulling down his pants. And that is hilarious. And of course, the punchline to all of this is that he manages, he does it, he's very proud of himself. And then the guy gets up to leave and he has a blind man's. And that's the joke, I guess. So yeah, that's the only thing I remember from the episode.
It was avoiding unleashing the Kraken all.
Yeah.
The fun was unnecessary.
Great.
I had to say that. Yes. Well, there you go. You can do it with one character, but it's not usually as fun because then it becomes, how does this person handle a beach? Rather than how do these characters interact with each other in this free environment where they can show skin and lay bare their unrequited feelings.
Yeah, it's basically a setting where they don't actually have a task to do like they would in all the other episodes.
Generally, yes.
Or it's not an impactful. I've seen beach episodes where there is, there's a monster or a demon to fight, but it's just part of the genre. It's never, they're going to defeat it. It's going to be fine, and it's mostly about the beach activities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. Like, like we're saying, these things used to be an extra, but, have since gotten integrated into the normal format. So, yeah, I saw a couple of animes. Like, there was a really crap one. I can't remember what it was called. About this guy who, it's an isekai one, and he's trying to find these floating cities, and he's hooking up with all these robot chicks, and he's getting a harem of girls, and they have the beach episode where, we've got to go to the beach in order to find a new gateway to the new floating city. So there's a thing that it's integrated into the main story, but yeah, it wasn't any good. It was terrible. So there's a terrible example. There you go. I watch too much anime. Well, I'm actually watching Spy X Family now, which is a really good anime. And
so I hear. I want to see it. It's good, huh?
It's excellent. It's because this one doesn't focus around a bunch of school kids going to school who are meant to be 14 and 13, voiced by 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds. This is actually there's an adult man and an adult woman and a child, and they are making a fake family together in order for this guy to infiltrate this government or something. And
Okay.
the weird
Nice.
thing is, he is a spy. The little girl he gets from an orphanage is a psychic, but he doesn't know she's a psychic. She's keeping that a secret. And the fake wife he gets is an assassin, but he doesn't know she's an assassin. But the little girl knows because she's a psychic. But she's as dumb as a pile of rocks.
I want to see it. You're selling me on this. I got to check this out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, yeah, and it doesn't devolve into the normal, stuff you'd normally see. So it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I haven't watched the whole season yet, but I've been watching Zom 100, enjoying it quite a bit. It's a zombie apocalypse series, but it's really positive. It's sort of about this guy who has this really punishing, horrible job it's killing him. And when the zombie apocalypse happens, it sets him free emotionally. He becomes this like joyful. He and his friends, like really, and it becomes like a bucket list. I think the subtitle is "Bucket List of the Dead." Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. So like doing everything he denied himself in life, and it's but they're lovable characters, and they did have a beach, or actually it was a hot springs episode. I don't remember how well it ties into all of these tropes, but yeah.
There we are. The hot spring.
It's a variation on the same thing, right? Yeah. They
I
find
love
a
it.
hot spring and it's bathing and swimming and all that stuff.
Hot springs, which is also can be baths, communal baths, or the special spa. So all those things, they're all different variations of the same thing. Hot spring, spa, or communal
Right.
baths. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a sub-variant of the beach episode.
It's I think I would put it as a combination between the festival and the beach episode, because usually the spa has some undertones of, things maybe will they, won't they happen. So
Yeah, well, we often have
Right.
the strict separation of the men and the women on each side of the big bamboo screen.
yeah.
Very, very well brought up, Baines, yes, because that is a typical thing, and it's often fun and very silly, and there's tension that happens in the air. I love it. One of my favorites in that genre is Baka and Test, which is an excellent. I love that anime, Baka and Test, which is a bunch of different classes in the same year are separated according to their intelligence rank. And the main one that we focus on are the dumbest of the dumb. And as you go up the intelligence rank listings, then you get better equipment. And these guys are the lowest rank, so they have this terrible equipment, broken desks and everything like that, pencils that don't work. But they do have an excellent Hot Springs episode. So yes, there you go. But yeah, at the secret point of Baka and Test, even though they're dumbest of the dumb, they're actually secretly super intelligent. Perhaps.
Okay. Yes.
Perhaps they are, or perhaps they aren't. We don't know.
Yeah. It seems like probably if this is a series, then that's where it would probably go. Or at least some of the characters would be smarter than they seem.
Yes, exactly.
Or smarter
you've
than
got
their
it, mate.
official side. Yeah. Makes sense.
You've got it, and I highly recommend it. Baka and Test, everyone must watch that. What have been your favourite beach episodes that you can recall? You probably can't recall any specific one because they just blend into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I
the
don't
Hot
know my
Spring
anime
episode.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to sort of, recall it. But the Hot Springs are better than the beach ones because the beach ones are generally so forgettable and so irrelevant that they're not needed. And how much... I do not like seeing the arguments about boob size
No, I
Because
hate those.
it's meaningless for a start, and it's usually too pervy to even be interesting. And when I say too pervy, I don't mean pervy in a fun way. I mean pervy in a sad way.
Yeah, it gets creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy and silly. Because why should people compete over boob size? Or be upset or have feelings of revenge over boob size? I mean...
And honestly, I mean, I don't know. I guess it could happen in real life, but I have never, in my experience as a woman, ever seen women like, sizing up each other boob wise.
Boob wise.
Like the closest I have ever like been present for in my experience was like one poor lady that really did have like a huge set, and she was not showing off. She was lamenting the fact that she had them and it was murder on her back.
Right.
And she hated it. She absolutely hated it, and she couldn't get a reduction because her husband didn't want her to. So
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's very sad. I've seen it a couple of times when people who, ladies who have large boobs because they've been enhanced. I've seen that more. I've seen that quite a lot actually. When ladies who have like enhanced boobs will compare and be very proud of them to each other and will show off, and will there'll be an element of competition, but it's only enhanced boobs, never normal, never natural ones. So there you go. It does exist, but for that specific.
Yeah.
that...
That also kind of makes sense, because if you are enhancing your boobs, you will want to measure them, I guess. And
Yeah,
so,
and you compare them and you think, oh, well, mine are better than yours, and yours are, oh, let's have a look, and all that kind of stuff. So there's curiosity and all that kind of stuff. So there we are. There is a place in the world for everything.
yeah.
And like a truth to a myth. Like say we did that episode on swords, and one of the big myths about swords is swords never go swing when they're withdrawn from scabbards. But I can prove that they do because I have metal swords and metal scabbards. So there's often truth behind any fantastic thing. So there you go.
Yeah.
So boob measuring is a thing. Well, yes.
Do you know what women look for, and are jealous of in other women?
What?
No, I have no idea.
Waist size. Like if a woman's waist hinges really well naturally, now that is where there is jealousy and stuff. So in a beach episode, it would have been a lot more realistic if they were like, who looks like an hourglass more. So.
Oh, indeed.
Right.
Oh.
Not the size of the hourglass, just the shape of the hourglass.
The proportion, the shape.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was actually talking about the subject earlier today, actually, with the existence of, the whole corset stuff and tight lacing from the 19th century, which was so popular, and the idea people have now, the modern idea, is, oh my God, these women were so tortured, and this was like the male idea of fashion that women had to hobble by, and they had to live with this, which is all like complete rubbish. This was a lady's fashion that they would do to the corsets would shape their body in such a way that would make their clothes fit in the way they wanted to, and the ones who tight laced were not doing this for men's benefit. They were doing this for to compete against each other.
Yeah.
And it was like a massive thing. Only the most wealthy women could do it, like princesses and heiresses and things. So, and it was the men who were mansplaining and telling them, "Oh my God, you're hurting your bodies. Oh my God, you're making yourself sick. Oh, you're displacing your organs." It was men who were against it.
Yeah.
Not for good reasons, for bad reasons, because they hated them having that freedom.
Yeah. There is just to second what you are saying. There is this anecdote. I just don't remember names because I'm terrible with names. That there was this rivalry between two really wealthy ladies for who had the narrowest waist, because they were both tight lacers and stuff like that. So they had a bet that they would be able to fit a pearl necklace around their waist and clip it. And this was like a huge a pearl necklace with huge pearls. And whoever managed to get this thing around their waist and clip it would win it, would get to keep it, which was like super expensive, like huge not freshwater, like natural pearls and all that. And eventually, like neither could, and it was the talk of the town. And eventually, one of them tight-laced so much that like she didn't drink water for like 2 days. They said, I guess that's an exaggeration, and she didn't eat and stuff. So she could tight-lace so much that she managed it, and then wore the necklace around her waist.
Oh my God.
And got the necklace, and then she would wear it around her neck, for bragging rights. So there you go.
Yeah, snap herself in half.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's probably true too.
Probably.
Yes. Oh my God. So yeah, just like today, the way it is a fetish, it was then as well.
Yes.
So there you go.
Humans don't change.
No, we're exactly the same as we've always been.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has been Quackcast number 687, the bikini episode.
Yay.
Well, Baines and I are wearing attractive bikinis and Tance in a Speedo, so there we are. We're cross-playing today.
Yes.
So, yes, thank you very much for listening to Quackcast number 687. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.